of this video, the student should be able to describe the different muscles attached on the upper end of femur. The student should be able to describe the attachment of muscles on the shaft of femur. The student should be able to describe the muscles attached on the lower end of femur. In the previous class, we said that femur has three parts. It has an upper end, it has a shaft, and it has a lower end. The upper end has a head, a neck, greater trochanter, and a lesser trochanter. The lower end has a medial condyle, a lateral condyle, and the articulating surfaces. Now we move towards the attachments on the upper end of the femur. The head of the femur articulates with acetabulum to form hip joint, and in this articulation there is a ligament of head of femur which plays an important role. This ligament of head of femur is attached on the fovea capitis of the femur. So the first attachment that you have to memorize is that fovea capitis gives attachment to the ligament of head of femur. Now we will learn the attachments on greater trochanter of femur. The greater trochanter of femur has an apex, it has an anterior surface, a lateral surface, and a medial surface. This was discussed in the previous class. When you look the apex, the superior border was also called as the apex. When you look the apex, it gives attachment to the piriformis muscle. You can very clearly see into the figure. This is piriformis muscle and it is inserted, it is attached on the apex of greater trochanter of femur. We said greater trochanter has a medial surface. The medial surface gives attachment to the obturator internus muscle. Now look into the figure. This is obturator internus muscle and it is attached on the medial surface of the greater trochanter of femur. Along with the obturator internus, there are two gemelli muscles, superior and inferior gemelli muscles. So this is superior gemellus muscle and this is inferior gemellus muscle. The medial surface is giving attachment to three muscles, obturator internus, superior and inferior gemellus. The apex is giving attachment to piriformis muscle. Okay. The medial surface of the greater trochanter had a fossa which was called as trochanteric fossa. The trochanteric fossa gives attachment to the obturator externus muscle. Now look over here. This is the trochanteric fossa which is present on the medial surface of the greater trochanter of femur. It is giving attachment to the obturator externus muscle. This is obturator externus muscle which is highlighted by a green color. The lateral surface of the greater trochanter of femur gives attachment to the gluteus medius muscle. Now look over here. This green colored muscle is gluteus medius and it is attached on the lateral surface of the greater trochanter of femur. So before we move forward, we will take a quick review. The apex gives attachment to Piriformis. The medial surface gives attachment to three muscles: obturator internus, superior and inferior gemelli. The trochanteric fossa gives attachment to obturator externus muscle. The lateral surface of greater trochanter gives attachment to gluteus medius muscle. The greater trochanter of femur has an anterior surface, and this anterior surface gives attachment to the gluteus minimus muscle. Now look into the figure. This is gluteus minimus muscle and it is attached on the anterior surface of the greater trochanter of femur. In this figure, the gluteus medius muscle has been dissected to show you the gluteus minimus muscle. So we can revise from this figure. We said the apex is giving attachment to piriformis. The medial surface is giving attachment to the gemelli, gemellus superior, gemellus inferior, as well as to the obturator internus. Look over here, the three muscles are coming and attaching on the medial surface. The trochanteric fossa gives attachment to obturator externus, which cannot be seen in this image. The anterior surface gives attachment to gluteus minimus and the lateral surface is giving attachment to gluteus medius. Now we will learn the attachment on the lesser trochanter of the femur. This is the lesser trochanter of the femur and you can see it is giving attachment to two muscles. The green colored is the psoas major muscle. It is attached on the tip of the lesser trochanter. And on the anterior surface of the lesser trochanter, there is attachment of iliacus muscle. So two muscles on the lesser trochanter, psoas major and iliacus. Very clearly seen in the image. The intertrochanteric line, which was connecting or separating the neck from the shaft, this is intertrochanteric line. You can see it is giving attachment to the iliofemoral ligament of the hip joint. The intertrochanteric line gives attachment to the iliofemoral ligament of the hip joint. The intertrochanteric crust. Now the posterior surface, the neck is separated from the shaft by a crust which is called as intertrochanteric crust. This crust has a small elevation called as quadrate tubercle. The quadrate tubercle gives attachment to the muscle called as quadratus femoris muscle. Now you can clearly see in the figure the quadratus femoris muscle is attached on the quadrate tubercle of the femur. Now we move to the attachments on the shaft of the femur. The shaft of the femur has anterior surface, a medial surface, lateral surface, and a posterior surface. Now we will learn about the attachments. Now you can clearly see in the figure the anterior and the lateral surface. The upper 3/4 region gives attachment to vastus intermedius muscle. This is vastus intermedius muscle. It arises from the anterior and the lateral surface, the upper 3/4 of the shaft of the femur. From the lower 3/4 of the shaft of the femur, another muscle arises which is called as articularis genu muscle. Articularis genu muscle. Now look over here. This is vastus intermedius muscle, and you can see it is arising from anterior and lateral surface, the upper 3/4 of shaft of the femur. The lower 1/4 of the shaft of the femur gives attachment to the articularis genu muscle. This is articularis genu muscle, which is arising from the lower 1/4 of shaft of femur. Now you remember the linea aspera? The linea aspera was the posterior border of the femur, and its lateral lip continued upward to be continuous with the gluteal tuberosity. You can see in the figure, this is gluteal tuberosity. Now on the gluteal tuberosity, the gluteus maximus muscle is inserted. You can see over here, this is gluteus maximus muscle which is inserted. This is gluteus maximus muscle which is inserted on the gluteal tuberosity of the femur. This is gluteal tuberosity. It is actually a continuation of the lateral lip of the linea aspera. Now we have two more vasti, vastus medialis and vastus lateralis. The vastus lateralis, it arises from anterior and the inferior surface of the greater trochanter and the lateral margin of gluteal tuberosity and the linea aspera. Now you look into the figure and follow my pointer. It arises from the anterior and the inferior surface of the greater trochanter, the lateral margin of gluteal tuberosity, as well as the linea aspera. This muscle is vastus lateralis. The vastus medialis arises from the spiral line, the medial lip of the linea aspera, down up to the medial supracondylar line. Now look over here. This is vastus medialis and it is arising from spiral line, the medial lip of the linea aspera, down up to the medial supracondylar line. In this figure, you can see the attachment of the vasti muscle. The vastus intermedius muscle arises from the anterior and the lateral surface of the shaft of the femur from the upper 3/4. The vastus medius muscle arises from the anterior and the inferior surface of the greater trochanter down up to the medial supracondylar line. The vastus lateralis arises from the gluteal tuberosity, the lateral lip of linea aspera, and the whole middle part of the linea aspera. Muscle attachment on the posterior surface of shaft of femur. Now till now we have discussed the three vasti and the articularis genu muscle. Vastus intermedius, vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, and the articularis genu has been done. 4 muscles on the shaft till now have been done. Now we will learn the attachment of the adductor muscles. The adductor longus muscle arises from the middle 1/3 of linea aspera. Now look into the figure. This is adductor longus muscle. This is adductor longus muscle. We will change the color And you can now see that from here this region is adductor longus muscle. This is adductor longus muscle, which is arising from the middle one third of linea aspera. The second muscle is adductor brevis muscle. An adductor brevis muscle is arising from upper one third of the medial lip up to the linea aspera. Now look over here, adductor brevis muscle. Okay, we will change the color of the highlighter so that it can become distinguishable. Okay, adductor brevis muscle. It says it arises from upper one third of the medial lip down up to the linea aspera. So this is adductor brevis muscle. This is adductor brevis muscle. The one which is in green highlighter, it is adductor brevis muscle. Then you have adductor magnus muscle. The adductor magnus muscle arises from the medial margin of gluteal tuberosity, linea aspera, the medial supracondylar ridge up to the adductor tubercle. Now we will follow it on the bone and we'll see how we can trace it. This is adductor magnus muscle. Okay, this is adductor magnus muscle. Now start tracing it from the top. It says it arises from, this is gluteus maximus, which was inserted on the gluteal tuberosity, right? So this is medial margin of the gluteal tuberosity, is running downward. It is traversing the linea aspera. It is running downward. It is occupying the medial supracondylar ridge, as well as it is present down up to the adductor tubercle. So adductor magnus muscle takes the largest origin. It is arising from the medial lip of the gluteal tuberosity, the linea aspera, the medial supracondylar ridge, down up to the adductor tubercle. Starting from gluteal tuberosity, the linea aspera, medial supracondylar ridge, down up to the adductor tubercle. Now I hope the origins, the attachment of the muscles is clear. But before we move forward, we'll again see or revise some points. 3 adductors: adductor longus, adductor brevis, adductor magnus. The adductor brevis is arising from the middle one third of the linea aspera. The adductor longus The adductor brevis is arising from upper one third of the medial lip up to the linea aspera. Adductor longus, middle one third of linea aspera. Adductor magnus, medial lip of gluteal tuberosity down up to the medial supracondylar ridge and the adductor tubercle. Okay, again you can see in this figure, this is the upper one third of linea aspera, giving attachment to adductor brevis. The middle one third of linea aspera, giving attachment to adductor longus muscle. And from here, you can see this is the same purple color for adductor magnus. And starting from the medial lip of the gluteal tuberosity, the whole length of linea aspera down up to the medial supracondylar line, as well as the adductor tubercle. This large muscle is called as adductor magnus muscle. Now we will discuss the attachment of other muscles on the posterior surface of shaft of femur. The pectineus muscle, pectineus, is inserted on the spiral line. Now you remember spiral line? The linea aspera diverged into a medial lip and a lateral lip. Remember? The medial lip continued into the spiral line. This is pectineus muscle. You can see over here, this is pectineus muscle and it is attached on the spiral line of the femur. The short head of biceps femoris muscle arises from the linea aspera and from the upper two-thirds of the lateral supracondylar line. Now we will look into the figure. This is biceps femoris muscle. See, it is arising from here, from the linea aspera, running downwards up to the upper two-thirds of the lateral supracondylar line or lateral supracondylar ridge of the femur. This is biceps femoris muscle. Shall we revise again? Okay. We said we have upper end, shaft and a lower end. The upper end has a head which gives attachment to the ligament of head of femur. It has a greater trochanter. The greater trochanter has an apex which gives attachment to the piriformis. It has an anterior surface which gives attachment to gluteus minimus, a lateral surface giving attachment to gluteus medius, a medial surface giving attachment to the two gemelli, superior and inferior gemelli, and the obturator internus muscle. It has a trochanteric fossa which gives attachment to obturator externus muscle. On the posterior aspect, there is an intertrochanteric crust and a quadrate tubercle. The quadrate tubercle gives attachment to quadratus femoris muscle. The anterior surface, you just have to remember the images. The anterior surface gives attachment in the upper 3/4. It gives attachment to the vastus intermedius. And the lower 1/4 gives attachment to the articularis genu muscle. The vastus, now we have these muscles in the figure. The vastus medialis muscle arises from the medial lip of the linea aspera, the whole linea aspera down up to the medial supracondylar line. The vastus lateralis, it arises from the lateral lip, the gluteal tuberosity, the linea aspera, and the whole length of the linea aspera. Then you have three adductor muscles. Then you have gluteal tuberosity, which gives attachment to the gluteus maximus muscle. Look over here, this is gluteus maximus muscle. And now you have the three adductors. The adductor magnus muscle is taking the more length of the origin. See, it is arising from the medial lip of the gluteal tuberosity, running downward, traversing the linea aspera, down up to the medial supracondylar line, as well as on the adductor tubercle of the femur. The adductor brevis muscle, it is arising from the upper 1/3 of the linea aspera. The adductor longus muscle, it is arising from the middle one-third of the linea aspera. The pectineus muscle arising from the spiral line and the biceps femoris arising from the linea aspera and from the upper two-thirds of lateral supracondylar line. In this figure, you can see the pectineus muscle. This is the pectineus muscle which is arising from the spiral line. This is the biceps femoris. The short head of biceps femoris is arising from the linea aspera as well as from the upper part of the lateral supracondylar line. Now we will discuss the attachments on the lower end of the femur. The lower end of the femur has supracondylar ridges. The lateral supracondylar ridge gives attachment to the plantaris muscle. Look over here. The plantaris muscle is originating from the lateral supracondylar ridge. The adductor tubercle gives attachment to the tendon of the adductor magnus muscle. This is the attachment of adductor magnus muscle on the adductor tubercle. Now look this figure. This is plantaris muscle arising from the lateral supracondylar ridge, and this is adductor tubercle. You can see that there is a hiatus or you can see an opening present in the adductor magnus insertion. So the tendon of the adductor magnus muscle is attached on the adductor tubercle. The lateral epicondyle gives attachment to lateral head of gastrocnemius muscle. Now you can see over here, this is the lateral epicondyle. It is giving attachment to the lateral head of gastrocnemius muscle. This is gastrocnemius muscle. It has a medial head and a lateral head. The lateral head arises from the lateral epicondyle. The medial head arises from the medial epicondyle as it can be seen in the figure. This is the medial epicondyle. It is giving attachment to the medial head of gastrocnemius muscle. The lateral condyle gives attachment to the popliteus muscle. You can see the small popliteus muscle is arising from the lateral condyle of the femur. Again in this figure you can see the popliteus muscle is arising from the lateral condyle of the femur. Thank you so much dear students.